Welcome, everybody. I've got my friend Gary here. He runs a company, Vitalis. If you haven't heard of them, they're where we get some of our virtual staff, and they do amazing for us. We use them specifically for calling our database, for reaching out to agents for webinars in some cases. But I've got some of my favorite staff from there. So thank you, Gary. Today, though, we're going to talk to Vitalis, to Gary, about building $1 million team or $1 million agency or mega agent, whatever route you want to go, because we think the hidden secret behind it is the people behind that. And that's really what we're going to talk about. So, Gary, where do we start with something like that? Because I learned it late in my business career. I thought initially when I was hiring staff that it was them that was the problem and not me, until I realized that it was me that was the problem. And then I had to change my whole process and approach. But where do we start with that?
Yeah, well, I'm going to share a screen here in a second, but if you, one of the things that we see is that culture and that culture of, and Tristan, how do I share my screen here?
You go to present or invite, you see on the bottom. And then once you click on that, choose, do you want to slide or share your screen?
Thank you.
Yep, you got it.
Yep. Sorry about that.
No problem. When you share your screen, it'll pop up on my end, and then I'll put it on the screen for you. But as we're waiting, let me know, everyone, where you're from, city, state, or country. Drop it into the comments. This way we know where you're at. I'm in Los Angeles, borderline Los Angeles, Ventura County. Nobody knows where that is, so I always say borderline. There we go. We've got your hidden team members. Everyone else, let us know what you're from. Gary, we got you. Dallas, Barbara, thanks for jumping in. Gary, we're losing you, buddy. Can you hear us? Because we see your screen, but we don't hear you. Let us know if you can hear us. Charleston, Lisa, there you go. Gary, you're back.
Okay, I have no idea what's going on, but I do apologize. So what we found out, Tristan, is it's really culture. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're hiring a virtual assistant and they didn't work out, it's one of two reasons. It's either you or it's your process and your systems for making sure either you're vetting and you're training or you're managing. And so those are the only things that can be the reason for. So you're either your vetting, training, management, or it's you. That's what we find out when we talk to so many agents that that they say virtual assistants didn't work out. Well, we have one coaching company where they just treated them like crap, and they didn't offer incentives. They treated them like virtual assistants, not team members. And that culture really doesn't work well if you want them to be successful. And so what we're going to do is go over a couple things regarding those hidden team members behind every $1 million agent. So the first one is, some of these are going to be self-explanatory. I want to get into the really good ones here in just a couple minutes. But the first one is TC. Of course, that's TC. That's $9 an hour with Vitalis. That's what we charge. All of our virtual assistants are trained and vetted. They have to go through about a week's approval process and interviews. So you're getting a team member, not a virtual assistant. The next one is admin assistant. That's $9 an hour with us. So these are some of the core team members that you'll have on a successful team. Buyer's agent or showing assistant, that's crucial. Of course, we don't supply that, but that's crucial in having success and growing a team. And then a listing manager. So those are some of the things that we see where agents either have those team members in place or they don't and they fail. Professional partners. These are external vendors. These are photographers, videographer, stager, if you're doing staging or you're doing AI staging, lender, mortgage, title, escrow company, and home inspector. These are self-explanatory. Most of you guys already have these. The next one is marketing and lead gen. I love this. I love this. I love this, Tristan. So marketing and lead gen is what we specialize in at Vitalis. So a marketing specialist with Vitalis is $9 an hour. That marketing specialist is going to be social media, content creation, email campaigns, SEO, any sort of printed materials. And so, that marketing specialist is going to either, work in your CRM, setting up campaigns, creating content, just pumping out content. Gary Vaynerchuk says you should be putting out 200 pieces of content a day. Now, that's unrealistic, but if you're not on social media and you're not putting out enough content, it's costing you business. What do you think about that, Tristan?
I think I'm going to stop sharing really quick just to talk to you and everyone here. One of the key components to rebuilding and reanalyzing where you're at as far as your brand, the strategy, and how you're showing up in front of a big audience comes down to who's part of your team and how they're helping. This is why when I look at that specific screen that you were sharing before, if you want to put it back up, I'll share it. That screen that Gary was sharing is important because when you bring somebody in, whether you're ready for them now or in the future, I watched one of our coaching clients, Gary. She's one of the top agents in Florida, and she's got a great team. She's well known in the area. She reached out to me for marketing, community building, and we guided her marketing person. And once we were done, her marketing person came through and first they analyzed all the brand and they took a look at all socials. They pretty much did what you show here on the marketing specialist. Like they were their own agency. They had their own person. They didn't know what to do with them though. So when I look at this, I would say, are you in a position to bring in somebody to revamp who you are and how you show up to that audience that you want to attract? Because that's exactly what this person did after we talked to them. It's like they set a whole presentation for them. So Gary, when I hire somebody from you that's a marketing specialist / agency or somebody who helps me rebuild my brand, not only will they take a look at, is it current? Is it meeting the audience expectations with the messaging that I want to deliver? But are the colors right? Easy things. Are the colors right? Right? What message is being delivered daily? Should I retweak that? And just as important, how are we showing up on all of the channels? Because last time we checked, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, all these AI outlets are pulling from Google, right? How's your business profile doing? Do you have somebody upkeeping that daily, right? How's your blog SEO? Are you providing content? Because that's where AI is pulling from daily, right? Especially if you're Googling something at the very top, it'll have a snippet. Are you creating content that's relevant, answering questions for your local area? What about YouTube? Are you having somebody on your team, like Gary said, like staff member on the marketing side, feeding you the right things to say, like a transcript, so you can plug into the teleprompter, something that's been vetted, that has natural language, so you could just pop it in or read it and then send it back. And then your marketing person can then edit, piece it together, throw it up on YouTube, throw it up on Facebook, throw it up on Instagram, edit it up so that it fits on TikTok and LinkedIn, and then grabs the graphics from there. And then if you have somebody that's capable enough, and if you're hiring from Gary, they are, because we've got a few, why not extract that 10-minute video? And if it's appropriate, make a podcast from it. So you get one piece of content that's fed to you by somebody amazing that you hired that can then create all of this content for the week, in some cases for a couple of weeks. And all you had to do was show up one time reading and making sure that it's relevant content, right? That's what I'm seeing, Gary, when you show me this graphic. It just hold on, edit to stage. This graphic at the very top, when I look at marketing specialists, that's what I see. When I look at CRM tech platform support, I look at somebody like we have from you. We have, what are we, 3, 4 people from you,
Yep.
right? And all 4 of them work on our CRM to some capacity or another. That means we go to our databases, and we've got a few, but one of them has 84,000 people in it.
Yes.
And that's all she's doing all day. And let me tell you, she's one of my favorite staff members. She's so great at talking to people. I'm talking about Zyra, by the way.
I was wondering who. I was going to ask. Yeah.
Zyra's insanely great, man. She's the only one I have reaching out to my real estate database. The other 3 reach out to bring in people to the webinars and do all that stuff. But I'm so impressed by her work ethic, by her knowledge, the ability to adapt quickly. And she's been reaching out to our database. And the number one question we get when it comes to VAs, Gary, is, do they have an accent? Do they sound like they're foreign? I don't know if I got lucky, Gary, but damn, Zyra sounds like a native to Southern California, man. Holy cow, she sounds like a Valley girl. And I'm like, this is so good. We record her calls so we can all hear it. And we're all like, damn, she's got the language down, the tonality down. So when you're reaching out to your database, who is doing it for you? For me, Gary, number 3, engage FSBOs and expireds and old expireds. Now, this is for me specifically, okay? That's been a little bit more of a challenge for our VA staff to do. Usually we lean heavy on agents to do that, like us, right? But I haven't tried that too much to tell you it hasn't worked well or not, right? But promoting just listed, just sold, dude, whether it's on social or just calling, circle prospecting has worked amazing for us. That's how I would break down this great sheet you've got.
Well, thank you. And it's funny you talk about your the virtual assistants you have. Believe it or not, we have 3 of our virtual assistants with real estate companies that are now training the realtors. So they're training the realtors on the calls. So isn't that funny?
Can you explain that to me? Because
so they're training real estate teams. Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny that happens. So anyway, this is what we're good at, Tristan. Right now at Vitalis, we're getting about 4 listing appointments per week. Engaging those FSBOs, expireds, and old expireds. Also, if your expireds are hot right now, I'm just telling you, the majority of our appointments are with expired. So Tristan, I think we need to have a call afterwards and see how we can get that going for you.
I think so, man. Interesting. Yeah, I'd love to see how you guys are doing that, because that makes sense. A lot of properties are staying on the market longer, and because agents haven't been used to talking about price reductions or even used to a home being on the market longer than a month, that makes sense that homes are expiring. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So we'll have another conversation. And the last one is promoting your just listed, just solds. If you're not doing that for lead gen and for, doing that, then you're just missing out on an opportunity. The way I look at the real estate industry is, Tristan, is it's one big funnel. And you have a bunch of little leaks in the funnel. If you're not doing this, that's a small leak. And if you're not doing this, that's a small leak. And if you're not doing this, that's a small leak. And all those little small leaks add up to what? A big leak.
Yeah. Then your boat's drowning. You know what? Let me see if I can share something with you right now, because one of the key opportunities we have in Let me go here. Opportunities we have as agents is to be able to create higher quality content. And if you lean on your staff, whether you have them with Gary or not, right? One of the things that's worked really well for us, I'm going to share my screen right now. Gary, this is what I'd recommend people do. Let me know when you can see my screen. It's my Instagram, really quick. And let me go back here. All right, you got it? Perfect. Everyone, give me a thumbs up in the chat so you can see it. We're going to go through this really quick. I want to show you what your team can create because we're going to do a quick 3, 4, 5-minute instruction on what you should be doing. So I'm going to show you these videos that I do. Let me re-update this. So these videos that I do, I usually have a script for them that I pull up every morning or that my staff sends me. But you see these right here, which I'm going to go into one of them. Let's go into this one. This one I posted last week. I had my virtual staff marketing person create this from paying attention to the news. And you take a look at the insights, the details, because this is what everyone here can do. Local, you could do this locally for your news. You could do it nationally. This is a graphic, right? 52,000 views, 92% of non-followers. You have interactions, which is pretty high. Here you go, 535 shares. Let me shut this little guy off really quick. 535 shares. For me, saves are important. Shares are too. And then we had 43 people follow from this one last week. It's a graphic. That's all it is. And it's news that you can pull up or have your staff pull up. And if we take a look, I'm going to stop with this one. If we take a look at this one, which was also last week, just August 26th, another graphic, we have it 115,000 views. This is from our staff, our marketing staff, our VA, just put this together. And then 690 shares. And then profile visits. Let me see, what do we got? 142, 35 follows. That is not bad. But the important thing is when I'm taking a look at this and I'm paying attention to the news that my staff is giving me, they're creating it, and I'm paying attention to the type of content I'm putting out to the audience I want to attract, and it's real estate related. You all can do the same thing.
Right.
If you have somebody who's helping you in doing this, the problem is we're trying to do everything. Like we're trying to make calls, we're trying to maintain relationships, we're trying to keep those 3 escrows or 3 under contract so they don't fall out, right? Meanwhile, we're going to an event and we want to talk to people about real estate. And at the same time, we're doing social media. And then we're trying to do a video over here and then our newsletter. You're doing too much. You're doing too much.
Tristan, I have a great saying. If you try to catch 3 rabbits, you catch none.
That's good, Gary. I like it. It's so simple and cute.
You're not going to catch 3 rabbits, and you're not going to be good at any. So, what you need is more people to do those jobs, Tristan, right? You need that help.
Yep. You need quality people, right?
Right.
Because sometimes we want to go for the least expensive, and then we go through that process and we're like, damn it, I hired the wrong person. Sometimes it's us, right? Like it was in my case. But sometimes we should have just paid a little bit more to have somebody trained who has that eye, if it's for marketing, who has that voice tonality, or at least the ability to talk to people, to bring them in and give us hand raisers from our own database, or like you're saying, from expireds, right? If they're being trained, I would rather not have to do the training myself.
Well, Tristan, what people do is, we find this as well, is that people hire a VA and then they want to offload these tasks, and then they end up offloading those tasks, and then they spend all the time training, and then they all spend all the time managing, and they haven't gained any time back because they've added another task, the training and management side.
Yeah, that's the hard piece. How do you guys handle that? Because the ones you gave me came trained, and then I've had to now help them grow with our tech that we use because they weren't familiar with all of the tech, and that's normal. But they came trained and they knew what they were doing. So how does that look in your world?
Yeah. So first of all, we're very good at finding talent. So we tell people that if you want a VA tomorrow or the next day, that's not us. We're not going to find somebody for you quick. But if you want somebody who's going to be a team member and an asset to your company, then that's who we are. And so it's going to take every bit of 10 days to 14 days to find that perfect match for you. When you and your team went through our process, Tristan, where you had our top candidates, you interviewed those top candidates, and then you picked the ones that you wanted. Now, one of our delegation coaches walked you through that process of choosing, but you ultimately picked them. And so you're going to have that choice, but it doesn't stop there. When you pick that person, Tristan, we then go to work. We then start training them on all of your systems and processes. And so they're going to be up and running on a basic level and be productive on day one with you. And so, that's what it looks like for us as far as, just that constant training. All of our VAs, it's mandatory to train 1 hour per week even though if you've been there 1 day or 10 days or 10 years, you're going to go through 1 hour of training every week to get better and better. And that's what we do different. And then the management, Tristan, if you're not managing your VAs, then, you're not holding them accountable for KPIs, key performance indicators. You're not, they're not getting a certain amount of content done. People have a tendency, if they're not managed and motivated with, either praise or constructive feedback, they have a tendency to get less and less productive. And so that's what we do. We send our clients reports, just like Mary sends you reports at the end of every week. I think she sends them to you on Monday, where you have a report of all of the VAs that you have and what they got done, what they didn't get done, an action plan to make sure they get there. So we know agents are busy, Tristan, and the cardinal sin is hiring a VA and then start spending all your time training and manage them, and you're not gaining anything back.
That's true. If I were going to hire my first VA staff member, right? And let me give you a scenario, okay? I'm a traditional real estate agent. I get most of my business from referrals, past clients, Sphere, and I've been in the business, let's say, for about 15 years. Who would you say I hire from your world? First one, I've never had a staff member.
So this is what we see as well, Tristan. Money is tight for agents that are starting out. And so it's important to hire somebody that's going to generate listing appointments for you. So the first hire that we suggest is those callers, some of those callers just like you have that are calling FSBOs and expireds. That way you can generate some revenue, get some listing appointments, sell some houses, and then that can pay for other things, that position and other things. So that is the very first position. If you're tight with money, then having somebody engage those FSBOs and expireds, and you just go on those listing appointments. That is what we suggest. I hope that makes sense.
That did. You know what? It did, but I didn't know that you were going to go there.
Really?
I thought you were going to tell me admin to get structured, right? Or something along those lines to help me get more, maybe a TC, right? But you're right. There are a lot of people who don't have the the closings that are coming in, they don't have enough. So of
Right.
course, it makes more sense to start and create your own sales team, right?
Yes.
That
Yes.
makes actually that makes more sense, Gary. You changed my mind. I was going to go a different route with it, but I agree with you 100%.
Then work on your systems and processes, right? After that, after you have some money coming in, work on a good CRM, follow up boss, a lofty, whatever it is, start working on, those types of processes. We can help you with that. But yeah, I mean, that's what we suggest. If you're a struggling agent, do that.
So if I do hire an expired or for sale by owner VA, what's the cost for that, and how do you train those specifically?
Yeah. So we have a lot of cool tools that we use to train those people, the VAs. So they still have to go through our vetting process. We have 2 service plans. Part-time, which is 20 hours per week, that's $11 per hour. That's everything, taxes included. Full-time is $9 per hour. And that's taxes including everything. We give them paid time off. We give them health insurance, by the way. So we give all of our clients health insurance, all of our executive assistants health insurance, and they want to work for us. So yeah. So so
Wow.
then we start training them on. We love different real estate coaching scripts. With some from Mike Ferry, some with some other coaching clients. We use those FSBO expired scripts. Also, we have a cool AI tool that role plays with them. So every week they will role play with the AI. It's a real estate coaching tool that they role play with, and they learn to get better and better at overcoming objections and things like that.
What is that one? Because we've tested out a few. Which one are you using?
Sales Go AI.
I think that's the one that Chris
Keller.
Yeah, is that the one?
Yep.
Yep. That was a good
Yep.
one, dude. It's good for practicing. I like it. I'm glad that you're having them do that. That's really good.
Mandatory with us.
Perfect, dude. And how often are you seeing that they practice? Is it something that they do daily, or that they start with, that they fit it into their day? What does that look like?
Yeah, so they get to pick the time that they want to do it. So, and by the way, we do pay them for that. We just eat the cost as part of doing business. So, so they get to pick the time. Mary is on there and goes through that analysis with her, or one of our delegation coaches, and she's on there and gives them feedback, making sure their rebuttals, go over the scores, things that they need to work on. But it's an hour per day. They get to pick it either before a shift or after a shift. And then we would then meet at the end of that shift or at the end of the role playing, and then they discuss how they can get better.
Dude, I love that. I love that. Now you've piqued my interest. I may have to hire a VA or 2 to just call expireds in our area and see how that goes. Interesting.
Let's talk. Let's do a test. We're getting 4 listing appointments per week right now, by the way.
Okay. And this is nationally? Is that what you're doing?
All over. That's what we're averaging all over.
All right. I'll test it out with you, dude. I like that. Let's do it. All right, everybody else, if you have a question, go ahead and scan that, or just go to Vitalis Outsourcing. I've known Gary for now over 10 years. He's one of the kindest people you will ever know. And also, he's extremely ethical, works hard, and the companies that he's backed and created are companies that I've always trusted. So somebody you can be happy to do business with, Gary. Thank you for always showing up that way, man.
Thank you, Tristan. Kind of you to say. Thank you.
Everybody else, let us know if you have any questions. And if you missed any part of this, it is recorded. And you can always reach out to me. We're not only a user, we're a sponsor with him on all of this. So thank you so much, man. Thanks, everybody else.
Thank you.